Could you please explain the logic behind Indraprastha Medical? Hospital chains have done fantastically well over the last 2 years or so. What made you choose IMCL? Was it just attractive valuations?
I think so. Attractive valuation in the case of IMCL was a given. Just to do a quick recap, if you look at this company, last 10 years, they have not added a single bed to their facility. It is a 755 bed facility that they have based out of Sarita Vihar in Delhi. So our first belief, our starting point was that, the stock is extremely cheap. It was trading at 5 times E by EBITDA, 10 PE. So we started to probe that why the stock is very cheap. Incidentally, this is one of the few hospital stocks wherein the return on capital employed is northwards of 40%. And you can imagine possibly it is the highest return on capital employed if I have to, rank hospitals by ROCE in the world. And the reason is very simple that they have got lease from Delhi government. This is the first PPP between Delhi government and Apollo. And what we found very intriguing was that, they had a cash pile of 250 crores. I'm just taking one quarter back. And the key question here was that, when they expand, because this was more like a 8% top line growth company, 12% bottom line growth company. And what we found out essentially is that, now they have got 300 crores of cash. The trailing PAT for them is, close to 180 odd crores. So this was the highest ROCE hospital stock, but trading at I mean to say it was trading at one third of, or one fourth of the sector average. So
Yes.
what we said is that, we would really like to back Apollo as a promoter, and the missing ingredient here was growth. And now, as we understand that over a period of time, since they are accruing cash on the balance sheet, they are going to go big time for growth. So our view is that, over next 3-5 years, they can expand from 755 beds, all funded through internal accruals, going to 2000 beds. That would obviously translate into at least 400 crores of PAT. And we believe that obviously there is an element of under ownership because we were perhaps the one of the first institutions to buy
Yes.
the stock. Now we have seen, some mutual funds also buying the stock. So it is a combination of, a value stock getting re-rated to become a growth stock.
Okay. I have been tracking IMCL for the last 2 decades. It's next door to our office. Do they mention somewhere that they'll be increasing the number of their beds? My apologies, but I don't remember reading it.
So it is in the annual report that they have mentioned this time around. As you might be aware that there is a huge problem of parking
Yes.
close to IMCL. So they are trying to address that issue. So first they would have to, address that issue. But one thing that you have to also bear in mind is that, if I look at the average revenue per occupied bed, RPOB, it is one of the highest in the sector. It is a
Yes.
70,000 rupees average revenue per occupied bed. All this with not 25% margin, but with 18% margin. Because, obviously, as a obligation to the Delhi
Yes.
government, they have to treat patients also. So we believe that there is minimal risk to margins here. Obviously, they would do reasonably well, and anytime they should expand.